This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Baltimore Orioles postcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. As always, my name is Luke Slabaugh and I'm your post-game show host after every Baltimore Orioles game that you and I can stand in this 2025 campaign. Final score tonight down in Tampa, the Baltimore Orioles 1, the Rays 11. Oof. Baltimore narrowly avoids its 11th shutout loss of the season in garbage time. An RBI ground out by Ramon Laureano in the top of the ninth makes it 11-1. But man, garbage, that word rings true. Tale of two teams here coming out of the All-Star break. The Rays limped into the break. They had won 3 of their last 14. Clashed heads with the Orioles shortly before that July stretch. Had that 22-8 game where the Orioles came storming back and winning behind right-hander Tomoyuki Sagano. The O's, meanwhile, have been playing this middling 500 ball under interim manager Tony Mansolino. They won a series against the Mets, sweeping a doubleheader. That's the last time you heard from me. And then the weekend series before the break dropped their last 2 to the Marlins in pitiful fashion. For some reason, there was hope that the O's could start to build out of the break. They're well rested. They've got a chance to regroup. Only one guy going down to Atlanta for the big Midsummer Classic. But I don't know if anyone could have seen this return to misery, this mid-May slogging, trudging, pitiful showing, this nightmare scenario, this comedy of errors happening down near the Gulf of America, or Mexico, mind you. And that's what we got to talk about, first and foremost.
This is what you'll be talking about.
It's the Gulf of Mexico, guys, I know. One of these teams came out of the All-Star break prepared, and the other did not. I will let you decide which is which. Lee Elia, great manager, 1983, was quoted as saying, "The name of the game is hit the ball, catch the ball, and get the job done." There's a word missing there. And the O's could not do any of those 3. Hit, catch, or get anything done. Whether it was Charlie Morton lacking command within the zone, not locating correctly, or multiple examples of focus issues in the field that led to runs allowed, or just getting overpowered at the plate for 8 1/3 innings. That was the name of the game for the Orioles. We'll start with Charlie Morton because pitching did lead to the early detriment and fall in this game. Charlie Morton's got an excellent curveball, the highest RPMs in the game, out of control for most of this game. Had some good swing and miss on it on a couple of strikeouts, a few whiffs, but otherwise served up on a platter. Changeup also flat, and the Rays feasted on him. Almost a continuation of the home run derby. But when it comes to maybe the more atrocious things that happened tonight, I'm going to take this one inning out of it. This is not the turning point. This is not where the game was lost. But this is kind of a microcosm of why this really sticks in my craw and why it should stick in yours as well. We go bottom 6. The O's are already trailing 5-0. So this game is slowly out of reach. You know the way that this team has been on its heels for the first 80-some games of this season. You know, they're probably not coming back. Jake Mangum leads off with an infield single to shortstop Gunnar Henderson. He's got great speed, nothing you can do about it. He steals second base. Cool. I'll add that Charlie Morton is on the mound to start this inning. Ha-Seong Kim at the plate gets a sinker inside outs it to right field. Ramon Laureano makes a catch. Mangum, who was kind of shaken up on the steal, seemed to be breathing heavily and moving a bit slowly after that headfirst slide into second, is tagging and is able to make it. Ramon Laureano's got a cannon of an arm, and his throw back into the infield, first of all, blows by Jackson Holliday, who on replay, you'll note, is not in position to catch a ball on a relay to third base. He is gliding across the infield. Then it goes through the wickets of Gunnar Henderson, who is on the B line between right field and third base. And it just 5-hole, just goes beneath his glove. And so it squirts by third baseman Jordan Westberg, who's ready to make a play on Mangum at third base. And he can just limp home. Makes it a 6-0 ball game. When you cannot catch a ball at any level of baseball, high school, college, minors, majors, you name it, if it's in and out of the glove, if it is between the legs, this is a focus issue. This has nothing to do with exit velo. This has nothing to do with the throw. If it is 5-hole, you got to catch that ball. This isn't a knock on Gunnar Henderson. It is a knock on where this team was focus-wise coming out of the break. It was awful. Charlie Morton then walks Danny Jansen, and he is lifted for left-hander Grant Wolfram. Wolfram Alpha does not have his A game. Gives up a squibbing single to Chandler Simpson to left field. Jansen, the catcher, advances to second base. Brandon Lau with an infield single, which again deflects in and out of the glove of first baseman Kobe Mayo. Good to see Mayo in the lineup. What did he do tonight? Not much. Deflects off the glove from Mayo to Holiday, so everyone is safe. 1 out in the inning. And 1-0 count. Yandy Diaz at the plate. Sinker is middle. Yandy goes oppo for the finishing touch. A grand slam. Makes it 10-0. And then a batter later, Junior Caminero, first pitch home run. Sinker out over the plate to right field. His second homer of the game, 11-0. And that buried the O's. Buried them. So Morton was already down in a hole to that point. Credit to him for making it into the 6th inning, but he let go of this game from Jump Street.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I saw some good action on the curveball early. He struck out Brandon Lau. Prior batter, Chandler Simpson, led off with a double to center field. Cedric Mullins trapping a fly ball, which would have been a single for just any other league average hitter, but Simpson runs really well. Morton walks Yandy Diaz, gets Jonathan Aranda to fly out on one pitch. So they're almost out of the inning. Got runners at first and third with 2 outs and a hanging breaking ball to Junior Caminero. 80 miles an hour and served up on a platter, goes 439 feet off the scoreboard, made it 3-0. And again, credit to Morton for getting out of this because he only needs 18 pitches to get through this train wreck of an inning. He gives up runs in each of the first 3 frames, inspiring no faith in a comeback. So the final line for Uncle Charlie is 5 1/3, 7 earned runs on 8 hits, 3 walks, 2 of which come in to score, 4 strikeouts, and 2 tater tots smashed. Woof. Let's make this interactive. If you're watching live here on YouTube, go ahead and leave me a shout in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. It's good to be back with you all after this week off. And coming up, we'll go over the O's offense real quick, and we can skirt through some injury updates as well going into the weekend. This is the Baltimore Orioles postcast. Final score tonight, the Tampa Bay Rays 11 and the O's 1. Stick with us. It's all about those summer sports. They're in full swing. Baseball, golf, if you're into that. Some high-stakes soccer. And FanDuel is with you every step of the way to make it more exciting. You're already following the action? Let's make it more interesting. Let's double down. Get in on the game while your friends are out there getting sunburned at the beach and not having mono. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring this show. Welcome back to the Baltimore Orioles postcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. 11-1, the O's fall to the Tampa Bay Rays down at Steinbrenner Field. 24-year-old right-hander Taj Bradley took the mound for the Rays, and it's the 3rd time that the O's faced him this season. You would think that they had his number by now. 2 starts, just 6 2/3 innings pitched by Bradley in those starts, and 11 earned runs given up. He had been tattooed in each start. One of those, the first one in Tampa, graciously that no decision, the 12-8 ball game was it? The O's were up 8-0 and then just completely collapsed. Trevor Rogers was the counterpart in that game. And then the O's also gave him what was coming to him up at Camden Yards. So in a way, you got to say credit to the young 24-year-old for picking up the slack, doing his homework, and having his best repertoire that we have seen to date. It's been an inconsistent season for Bradley. His ERA's hovered in the mid fours, and his other outings against the Red Sox and Marlins and other teams have indicated that he has good stuff. He just hasn't had it when he's played the Orioles. And the O's hitters, for their part, could not pick up on the cutter when it was thrown. They were late on the fastball, whether it was mid 90s, 94, 96, you name it, and deceived on the high fastball out of the hand. Those first 8 innings were atrocious, were bad. They were swinging underneath the fastball as well. There was no solid contact. Anything hit in the air was a lazy pop fly. And you could certainly see the approach, the attack angle contrasted between the Rays, who, when going opposite field and hitting the ball in the air, were hitting solid line drives that were carrying into the Mickey Mouse short porch minor league crowds that are out there. Save for a couple of Colton Cowser singles and Gunner's double late in the game, there was not a lot of solid contact against Rays pitching. So you credit the Rays for doing their homework and fixing their problems. It's a good operation over there, good players, young core, well managed. Sounds like something you could use in Baltimore. I digress. Really, the best at bat came top 6. The O's, as I mentioned, already down 5-0. There's 2 outs. Gunner works a really good 7-pitch at bat against Taj Bradley. Gets a fastball inside out, sit to the left center field gap. Jake Mangum chasing that ball kind of falls down near the warning track, so Gunner is able to extend it from a double to a 3-bagger. Unfortunately, there are 2 outs in the inning, and Ryan O'Hearn, late on multiple high heaters, strikes out on a foul tip. One of 2 innings tonight where the O's had runners in scoring position. We'd mentioned Henderson doubled the right field in the top of the 9th against right-hander Kevin Kelly. O'Hearn moves him over with a ground out, and Laureano hits it to Ha-Seong Kim at short. Made it an 11-1 ball game with Henderson advancing to third on O'Hearn's ground out and scoring on Laureano. Colton Cowser goes 3 for 3 with 3 singles and a walk, and the O's finish 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. We'll wrap things up here real quickly with a flurry of injury updates going into the weekend. Rock Cabato, Masson Sports, giving just bullets before the game. I should preface this by saying Jacob Stallings took a ball off the knee tonight, and he was lifted for Alex Jackson as a pinch hitter in the 8th. So the O's could be looking towards a 7th catcher if David Banuelos is on the taxi squad. Right-hander Grayson Rodriguez is shut down with elbow soreness. His return for the season looks doubtful. Hasn't thrown at all this season. Right-hander Kyle Bradish is scheduled to throw a 2-inning live simulated bullpen tomorrow down in Sarasota, and then a rehab assignment to follow. Right-hander Zach Eflin with lower back discomfort on rehab transferred to the Florida Complex League. Could be activated by the end of the month. Left-hander Cade Povich will go to Norfolk tomorrow for his rehab for left hip inflammation. Catcher Adley Rutschman is expected to join the Tides on Tuesday, coming back from a left oblique strain, which, by the way, last time Adley Rutschman played was in Tampa. He hurt himself on the swing that, unfortunately, it was the foul ball that hit Hunter Biggie, the reliever, in the face. Got him stretchered off and sent to the hospital. And now Adley has missed every game since then. So Hunter Biggie's rehab going better than Adley's. Cool. Chadwick Trump is back at Single A Delmarva with a lower back strain rehab, and Ryan Mountcastle coming back from his right hamstring strain, expected to take batting practice Saturday and may start his rehab next week. We carry on, and the O's will look to even the series tomorrow. Right-hander Dean Kramer on the mound against right-hander Zach Littell. The O's are familiar with Littell, already having seen him this season, and Kramer with a winning record had a great shutdown start against the Marlins. Prior to the break, he's 8-7 with a 4.24 ERA. Littell also 8-7 with a 3.56 earned run average. That's a 7.05 first pitch on Masson 2. Well, that'll do it for us here on the Baltimore Orioles postcast. I want to say thank you so much for joining us here on this Friday night. We know you have a lot of options. We will get through this together. Final score, the Tampa Bay Rays 11, the Baltimore Orioles 1. Good night, stay safe, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.